That's not a
And then he
shining
woke up
moment.
and told me again. I was like, yeah, I know.
Josh was lined up for one of our.
That
meetings.
We all know.
He's like, how do
Whiskey's
you
a
know?
motherfucker.
Because you told
That
me.
Jim Beam got the best of me that night. That was the night that Free Whiskey played in Babson Park and tore the roof off that place.
That was the Shiner's Ball.
Yeah.
The Shiners Ball, yeah. Because
Shiners
most of
Ball.
the people in there didn't know who Free Whiskey was. And so, like, you got that crowd reaction from a bunch of strangers. It was pretty awesome.
That sounds pretty cool.
They did Tied to the Whipping Post, and the whole place just went wild. I was like, oh, that's my boys. I had tears in my eyes. I was so proud of them. They rocked Babson Park.
Black light
Alrighty,
party.
guys, welcome to the Roadkill Jam podcast. My name is Laurel. We also have my co-host down there, Mr. Mark, owner of Roadkill Custom Drum Company.
The Road Runners.
Joining us today, we have Mr. Scott Naugler and his lovely wife, Samantha. Welcome, guys. Welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
We're here
you.
very much.
Talk. So, on an earlier podcast episode, we talked a little bit about how you guys have a farm and you guys are doing a big musical thing for Mother's Day. You would tell me a little bit more of that?
Yeah,
from Mark's
absolutely.
perspective?
So we're a blueberry farm in Bartow, and every year since we've owned the place, we have kind of finished our end of blueberry season with our Mother's Day event, which is a big music festival. We got You Pick Blueberries. We do free mimosas.
I wouldn't say it's a music festival. It's one of
Yeah.
our former employees comes out and
It's-
plays. But if you play, he always welcomes everybody to get up and have a jam. And
It's
a
kind
good
of
time.
building into that, yeah. The first year we just had Micah play, and then sort of bit by bit, every year now it seems to grow. And a lot of our musician friends from the area do come out, bring their moms, come out for the day. And yeah,
Free
the
mimosas.
free mimosas and blueberries.
No, the blueberries aren't free.
Blueberries aren't free. Blueberries,
Mimosas.
blueberries in
I
the
love how Scott's
mimosas.
leaning into the microphone. It makes me think of the movie The Warriors. You seen that with the radio host? Like, well, hello there, Warriors. The Warriors were
come
last
out and
spot.
play.
Exactly. Those Warriors were last spotted on the corner of 9th and 11th Street.
One
So
of
you
my
catch
childhood favorite movies. That and The Outsiders. Those are probably my two favorite movies from that era.
Oh, dude, I love The Warriors. The Warriors is great. The
great.
story behind the bottle thing, like, just made it so much.
The clink.
Yeah,
clink,
so the
clink.
actor, that was what his childhood bully used to do to traumatize him.
Oh,
And
really?
so
Okay,
he
I
took
didn't know
that
that.
into the scene, and the director was just like, keep it.
Yeah.
I think that's the coolest thing about that. See, but I'm so sorry. We got all sidetracked off the blueberry
Back
farm.
to the farm.
Back to the farm.
Back to
Talk
the
about
farm.
movies that are younger than me. I don't even know them.
You,
I don't know.
you're the
What?
oldest here, so don't
I
try to play that you're too young trick on us, Mark.
I don't know either one of those movies you talked about.
You don't know the Warriors
No.
from like the late 70s?
Yeah, 76 or 77 or something.
It's a great
I-
coming of age movie. The
Warriors.
Outsiders. You never heard of The Outsiders?
I've heard of them. I never
You
watched
really
it.
gotta get out more.
Guess what you're doing this weekend?
We're having a watch fest at the house.
We got to get my
What are you
father-in-law
doing
some
this
culture.
Anyway, what do
Sure,
you
I have
do? What are you guys
something
doing
like
tomorrow night? Because my sister's in town, and we're gonna have to throw a little shindig party. So I want to come over for a little jam and a fire tomorrow night. We do this a lot.
That sounds awesome. I'm going to be working all day, unfortunately. I'm going to be in Tampa, but I'm not sure what these guys
Well,
got
when this
planned.
podcast blows up, you're not gonna have to do that anymore.
I know, right? That's what I'm hoping for. Well, I'm hoping to put a few different podcasts together. So we'll be doing the Roadkill podcast, talking music and people. It's kind of the idea of just getting to know people in the local community and focused more on music. But I want to
And
do...
we're going to get more into the good food and stuff, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mark can
The
cook it up.
chefs.
That's
Are
true.
the
There you
cameras
go.
off?
You need a food one.
No, they're not off. They're just... I have the screens turned off so they don't
Gotcha.
overheat.
Uh,
They're still recording.
Now you can't say
They're
it
still
again.
recording.
So.
And you know what? If they're not recording, then this will just be an audio only episode.
Yeah, it's a little audio spot.
Samantha was too pretty to be on.
Right.
Exactly.
It would have
I had
caused
to
She broke
problems.
the
Stop.
cameras.
Secretly.
He overheated instantly.
All that fun stuff. But no, like I swear every one of us has gained 5 pounds thanks to Mark's cooking at those dinner jams.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect Mark to be a good cook, but he surprised me. He was. You know, I expect him more to like rebuild carburetors or bang metal into place or something like that. He was like perfectly situating every plate with everything you needed on the plate, and everybody got a little of this, and it was It was
a
very
5-course
impressive
meal?
job.
Multi-course meal.
like four or 5-course meal. He's like, I don't really consider myself a chef. Anyway, I have this first course called an amuse bouche. It's sort of a chef's specialty.
He was extra bougie.
What?
I actually have a degree in
And I had
culinary
to ask
arts.
what that meant.
Yeah, you remember you telling me that.
So I was like, wow, he's putting me to shame right now.
But he did cook seafood
Yeah.
broth that I typically
Yeah, like a
and it was
faux.
good.
Yeah, we made
was
the
a
faux last
faux.
time.
When he arrived and said, I don't really like seafood broth, I'm like,
I
wow.
watched a video to say yeah, pho. You gotta put your jaw forward and shit. I can't do it. I'm not.
It's Vietnamese. You have to put the Vietnamese
Watching you
accent
try
on
is
there.
one of the most entertaining things I've ever seen, though.
I try.
We should
Yeah,
all, we should all
exactly.
try. We should all try it together on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
We all flood.
I say Phil because I'm American.
Fair enough. Well, fair enough. What
It's
is it?
PHO. I mean, I'm.
Faux
I always thought it was
It's
pho.
for
Like,
show.
Faux show.
I'm just so cool. I mean, I don't really even eat the stuff that much, but like at all, really. But I always thought it was pronounced pho because I've seen some
It
places
is.
with like the clever names,
Pho,
like
yeah.
Pho
F-U.
King.
Fuck.
Yep, like the one in
Yeah.
Key West, the
Yeah.
fucking.
Yeah.
Great farm.
I
Key
saw
West.
one that to that faux thing you were
Yeah,
just
the
doing.
faux show.
I saw that it was PHO and then there was a space and it had OOD. Food.
Food.
I think like PHO would be a nice name for a faux spot, like
Faux
faux
show.
show. This shit's gonna be faux show good.
Oh God! Man, I feel like I'm in, like Georgia right now. Like faux show, this
Oh,
gonna
for
be
sure.
good, boy.
What?
You ain't had food like this
Show.
before.
Fried
Something.
chicken.
Like soul
Fried
food,
chicken.
soul
no,
food,
I'm
man.
gonna
Chicken and
Vietnamese
waffles.
food. That's what I'm saying. Faux show. Americanized
American.
Vietnamese food.
I'm just saying,
You
like
gotta
I'm
say
stuck on the
different
soul
things.
food
They're
thing with the
gonna-
faux
yeah.
show name, and I'm immediately picturing a
going
bowl of
southern.
pho with chicken and waffles on
Well, I
top.
may have to go to back to the drawing. Take this back to the drawing
But it's
board.
got hot honey.
So if we can go back to the farm thing for a minute,
Yeah.
just to say our dates. We're about to come up on our. Usually start our harvesting 1st of March. We'll usually do that for 2 months, then open one more month for U-Pick. We might go a little bit different this year because we've had 12 acres of blueberries. We've broke that down to just 4 acres of blueberries now, and
Okay.
we're going to put in. If you've ever been to Tanner's Lakeside, they have that that whole
Big
pavilion
pavilion.
with the stage they put in. Well, the guy that built that is the brother of Mike Lubeck. He said he just got that delivered, put it all together, got a couple guys to help, and he could do that for us at the farm. So we're thinking of going that route and doing weddings and events at the farm instead because
That'd
we
be
found that blueberries is a great way to go broke. It's a lot of hard work to lose money every year.
They're
Yeah.
not
it is.
like punchline. They're not
Yeah,
called
kinda
blueberries
like
because they're
music,
blue.
though.
No, exactly.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. So I think this year we'll be doing our commercial season coming up here soon, and then we'll move into U-Pick, and then we usually finish the season with our big Mother's Day event. But this year we're also looking at doing moringa and pineapples is our other big crop that
If
we're
you're not
doing this year.
familiar with Moringa oleifera, it's Moringa. Look it up. It's nature's multivitamin. It has more antioxidants than blueberries, more potassium than bananas, more vitamin C than oranges, and it has protein in it. So it's a perfect food source. So we're going to start growing that.
That's
My
I've
dog
never heard of
loves
it.
it.
Yep,
His
yep.
dog food.
We've already got
We
almost.
put it in all of our dogs.
I've
food.
never even. I'll be honest. I've never even heard of it. But it sounds.
Yeah,
is that
it's
intended to be like a
amazing.
superfood? Is that?
It is
Yeah,
a superfood.
it is.
Yep.
Everything's edible
Yep.
from the roots up.
Yep.
Wow.
It's-
Only things that are better than that are not found on land, like spirulina. I mean, might be better nutrient density.
It's
but-
another thing I haven't heard of. The
Oh, it's
spirulina.
amazing. So good for you.
Yep.
A little bit goes a long way.
So we've already got an acre or so planted of that. We harvested last year and made our powder out of that one. So
Okay.
we'll be doing that again this year as well.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
when you guys get your pineapples in, you let me know because I spent
Yes.
6 years in Hawaii eating pineapples and I found a lot of good ways to eat it. It's, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I do love some
I
pineapples.
There you go.
purposely didn't get a pineapple pizza from Pizza Connection
Because, yeah.
Because
There you
I
go.
do have a little bit of.
She doesn't eat
I don't
pineapple outside the house.
other people's pineapples.
A little pineapple snob these days.
Dude, I love your
Okay,
flask.
okay. Now we got everybody in the kitchen holding up placards with paper plates telling us what we're talking about.
Blueberry Crown.
This is not
Crown
a coach
Royal?
podcast.
Crown, we got to talk about that now. It's like they're not sponsoring.
Hold on, let me
us
see
yet.
that plate. Bring that plate over here. Let me
Little
see
Jim
that.
Beam for y'all.
No, bring it here. Bring it here.
Let's look at what's all
Look at
crossed
look at what these folks are writing to us.
These are our cue cards.
They scratched it out. Is it Roadkill Jam in September? Who wrote this? Blueberry Grown. It's all scribbled out. They're trying to cover their tracks right now, but
Bo is not happy.
this
he's
is not a
outside.
coached podcast. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
We just get paper plates.
These are not
waved at
these are
them.
not paid actors.
Wait, what?
You're
So
not
if
getting paid.
I can turn the tables on you for a minute. What are you doing musically? Because I didn't know you were a bass player, and one day you get up, start jam with us, and you were good.
So I've been playing music since I was about 10 years old, and I used to have, dreams of grandeur and stardom and all that stuff. And at one point, I had an opportunity. I got to work with a bunch of big producers out of Tree Sound Studios in Atlanta for a short time. I went to Los Angeles, met a couple of big-time producers down there, and spent some time with them. And I had a very brief time with Jimmy LaFavor. He gave me the best life advice I ever got. He told me, because I was struggling with the drama of the music world, especially as a young musician and somebody who is at that age. And it was kind of ruining the fun for me. And he looked at me and he said, you can either do this and make a living out of it, or you can keep what you love for yourself and do something you enjoy for a career. Mm-hmm. And I took that advice to heart, and I decided, you know what, music's for me. I'm going to keep it for me, and I'm not going to make a career out of it. I'm going to go do something else for a career. So
I'm going to do podcasts.
I'm going to do podcasts. I'm a scuba dive, and I'm going to do podcasts. I'm playing with GoPro cameras all day.
Where do you scuba dive?
Right
Generally, what's your favorite spot to go?
The best place is in the water.
You gotta have a spot here in Florida.
Dad jokes.
Like you have like a Florida
got it.
spot that's go.
I gotta get one dad joke in every podcast. That's just the general rule at this point. But
You won't let me hit the ching.
No.
I can still do it.
Every mic picked that up.
I'm gonna bring equipment.
Ching ching.
Yeah. But no, so I was diving. I worked for Georgia Aquarium for a little while. I taught scuba part-time living in Atlanta, and I eventually got the opportunity to go out to Hawaii and was there for about 5.5, 6 years, and did everything from recreational to working with a bunch of retired military guys, some Navy SEALs, and jumping out of helicopters. And
Probably can't be a better spot than Hawaii.
They wouldn't let me jump. No, they used the excuse that I had a heart attack.
Well,
Not
that wasn't my call. That wasn't my call.
Isn't it the altitude more than the...
That's above me. That's actually going to fall to the chief pilot that was in charge of the whole operation, was the one making that call. For a scuba diving thing, I know I can't take him scuba diving because of some medical conditions, but that's just me as a dive professional. I can say that. But
What's more of a rush, skydiving or scuba diving?
well, scuba diving, I can save myself. Skydiving, if you pull that cord, nothing happens. Well, have fun.
Gravity's a motherfucker.
Hopefully you bounce.
Or land on something very spongy.
Yeah, actually, I was training to be a skydive instructor out of Rockmart, Georgia for a short time, and the plane was doing taxi drills, and during one of their touch and goes, where the plane comes down, sort of touches their landing gear, and then continues going up to warm up the plane, he hit the ground, and one of the landing gear snapped off. And he basically just and skidded down the runway and came to a stop. Nobody was hurt, but our instructor was like, well, we're not jumping today, so let's go back and watch a bunch of videos about skydiving accidents and what they could have done to save themselves. And me and my buddy Connor kind of went, yeah, we can save ourselves in the water.
Have you seen my plane?
You're right.
Yeah.
You only crashed
Know
once.
the story about it?
No, I don't know the story about it, actually. You can tell it. It's okay.
Can I tell it?
You can tell it.
Yeah, I crashed in Lakeland, Florida. A guy died in a crash test, or I guess it was a crash test. Oh my God, that was bad.
We can start over if you want.
Test flying it, I should say, not test driving, and made an unexpected landing.
That'll do it when you put a planet in your way.
Yeah, landing was hard.
How about you guys? You ever done any skydiving or scuba diving
No.
or plane test flying?
Nope.
We're trying to live a long life.
Yeah. My most adventurous plane story was I was flying from San Francisco.
She didn't tell me this till a week
Yeah, I
after it
didn't tell her
happened,
after.
actually.
I ended up on the news for it somehow, but
Oh, I am all ears for this.
Yeah.
Flying out of San Francisco.
no, we were flying out of San Francisco on the way to Hong Kong, and when we took off, I was kind of coming down with a cold, so I thought, okay, I'm on the plane, I'm strapped in, I'm going to take like a whole bunch of NyQuil for this 18-hour flight. Just, I'll wake up when I get there kind of thing.
Out, yeah.
So I go to sleep before we even took off. Well, apparently on takeoff, one of the tires popped, and it got caught up, and I guess and ripped and did some damage, and one of the, I don't know, whatever they call them, axles or something, very damaged. So anyway, off we go. Now, mind you, this is an 18-hour flight on a huge plane.
Yeah.
Now circling San Francisco Bay, dropping fuel because they can't land with all the fuel in because they're
Because
worried.
they're probably going to crash land.
Yes, because they're probably going to crash land. So we circle the bay. At some point, somebody comes and wakes me up. I am now like an hour into like NyQuil zone. And they wake me up and basically
Still over
say,
San Francisco.
put your head, between your legs and get in crash position because we're landing this plane. I'm like, we're here already? And they're like, no, we're going back to San Francisco, but we're doing a crash landing, so prepare yourself. I'm like,
We're all going to die.
all right, well, this is not really how I planned to go, but
This NyQuil's strong.
I was like, I'm not even sure what's going on right
You know where
now.
you were going and crash land there.
Yeah, so we're circling the bay.
You done paid for the flight.
It's
You
nuts.
do 18 hours, you done wasted that much fuel.
You wasted a lot of fuel. Yeah.
If we're gonna crash and die, I want to do it at my
Yeah.
destination I paid for.
So, I
We do
mean,
it in Hawaii or something.
thankfully, so we're flying in, and I mean, it's one of the scariest things. You're kind of leaning down, trying to get in crash position while you're trying to peek out the window, going, well, this is the last thing I'm going to see. So what's going on? I want to see. And you see all these ambulances and fire trucks. Just the whole entire runway is lined with all these emergency vehicles, just waiting for you to hit the ground and blow up or something. So yeah, I got off the plane. And now I'm really dopey because the NyQuil's really kicked in. So I just get off the plane and I kind of find a chair and just sort of lean on it, and I'm half asleep. And of course, the newscaster is right in my face. And just really wouldn't let it go. So it's my face going like this.
I'm heavy into the NyQuil.
And meanwhile, one of my colleagues was traveling with me. He's all excited, talking about the whole thing and, how it felt and how he's feeling now and the experience of the whole thing. They didn't put him on camera once. It's just my face for like the entire half hour of the newscast of like just being miserable.
Oh my god!
So that was a little bit scary. It really was. But yeah, and then when I got back from Hong Kong in Florida, I told him about it.
Like, why would you not tell me about that? She said, I know you. You'd stress.
You'd freak out. Yeah.
It's already over, right? You
So
know?
after all that happened, they're like, okay, sorry, but we've got you on another flight tomorrow, so you can go. So, okay.
I think my worst flight story is I asked for the chicken instead of the vegetarian option, and they went, "Oh, sorry, we're out of the chicken." I was 7 years old.
Wow.
You're cut off. You're done. Robert's done.
We'll edit that out.
No, we won't.
Yeah, flying on planes can be a little bit scary. I was on a really tiny one from Antigua to Barbuda, which is a very tiny little island down in the Caribbean, and similar thing. They put like 5 of us, you got to get a scale and make sure you all add up to the right weight to get on the plane, take a few cases of water off, and okay, you got to wait for the next flight. Too many people, too much weight. So we get on, and the worst, Caribbean, afternoon thunderstorm ever, where they've stopped the other big planes from taking off because it's too dangerous, but somehow this little tiny 4-seater was perfectly fine to let go. So off we go. And I'm sitting there going, wow, am I just sweating because I'm nervous? No, it's leaking. The plane is just leaking. So we're getting soaked with all this water from this rainstorm.
No one told me it was
And
a
we're all just
convertible
sitting there
plane.
like, oh God, how far away is this island?
Oh my god!
Please get us out of this thunderstorm. We just fly right through the middle of it, thunder, lightning, all going crazy.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, do I want to be on a plane with you? Because it sounds like, look, you're still alive. You still
I
have your
am.
house.
She flies a lot, though.
I
She
flies a
used to
lot.
fly a
Yeah,
lot,
I did.
constantly. She did almost 300 days in hotels in 1 year.
Yeah, at one point
a few
in
years
time.
ago.
What did you do?
I was in business development for a large property management company, so I was flying all over the world, going to trade shows and doing contracting.
Wow.
So it was a lot of fun. But yeah, there's a lot of time on planes.
Well, Sky Miles have really helped
Yeah.
my life, though.
a lot of
really
times
come in
on
handy
planes,
at
a lot of nights in
times.
hotels over the years. But
That's
Yeah.
any favorites? Like hotels or destinations, I should say.
So I really, really loved. Last year, well, I did the Azores was pretty amazing.
Which one?
Azores.
Azores?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I've heard
The
good things.
Azores are
Close to
pretty
Portugal.
amazing. Yeah, right. It's Portugal, but yeah, right in the middle of the Atlantic, basically.
Oh, that's
That was
cool.
pretty amazing. And one of our favorite places, we were working there together. We were down in Nevis in the Caribbean, and that is a beautiful island.
Yeah, Nevis is great because, Nevis and St. Kitts, it's the Federation of Nevis St. Kitts. They were slave islands 100 years ago, or whatever, and they sort of gave them their freedom in two different ways. Nevis, they gave every family a plot of land to work. St. Kitts, there was landlords, and the people worked the land and paid up. These days, now, I don't know how it is these days. It was 15 years ago that we were there, but the people in Nevis, it was like you were a guest in their home. Everybody was inviting you over for Sunday dinner. You'd be walking down the street. People would stop and offer you a ride.
There's just a
St.
lot of
Kitts wasn't exactly that way.
It's a small
Yeah.
It's just
island.
funny how that
They want
happened.
fresh meat.
Yeah, fresh.
No, there's a lot of
Edit.
pride and
Edit.
ownership.
After a year or so on the same island, knowing the same 30 people,
But the
you
St.
want
Kitts
somebody
is
new in your life.
right there. It's 10-minute little
It's
boat
10
ride
minutes,
across.
yeah. No, I think
it's
the
so
difference
different.
is because
To
of
the other island, 30 people on it.
no, St. Kitts is much larger, but in Nevis, I think the pride and ownership is
We got Freddie coming to one of these. We're going to get the island stories.
yeah, the pride and ownership
Can you name
in
anyone?
Nevis is very different, and it's very apparent in the people in the hospitality there. We were staying at the place where Alexander Hamilton was born. So
Yeah, it was Alexander Hamilton's family estate, and it was
Yeah.
a sugar plantation, but it had been in ruins for 100 years or plus. And this guy from Norway bought it, and he was trying to make it into this, like, all the Olympians from around the world would come there to get medical care, rehab if they have injuries. And
this volcanic
about
spring
3 years into the project, he built a bunch of villas and condos and all this stuff, and it just
kind of went bust, yeah.
went blast.
But you asked where
I
my
never got
favorite place
paid.
was. That was probably
Never
one
made
of my
any money.
favorite places.
Even though I worked there for years, but I went to the Caribbean 12 times for free, so I can't complain too much.
That's pretty cool. Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us for another Roadkill Dinner Jam podcast. Before we sign off, tell us your names and where we can find a little bit about your farm or your music or anything. You guys wanna share with us.
S&S, Scott and Sam.
It's snsmicrofarm.com. You can find us there, or on Facebook at S&S Microfarm.
And for the next couple of months, up until probably the end of May, we'll be harvesting blueberries, doing U-pick and all that. So if you're into that type of thing, check us out.
Super awesome. Well, thanks again, guys. Let's head outside, grab ourselves a nice drink, and have a good time.
I was already partaking, but let's do it.
I was gonna say, I'm loving that flask. Thanks.